Hi, I'm Rashonda, and I'm the creator of this YouTube channel, as well as the artbyrow.com website, where you can get over 200 art and drawing tutorials. So today we're going to look at how to draw a peace symbol. This is going to be a really simple drawing that's great for beginners, and there's a lot of things you can use these peace symbols for. For example, back here on my wall, you can see one I did with the peace symbol and the Volkswagen van and some lettering and some things in the background. So don't look at the simple drawings as being boring or that there's not much to look at, because there's always so much you can do with them. This channel is all about encouraging you to do some drawings and work on your artwork even when you don't feel like you're good enough, because art and drawing are developed by practicing. They're just skills that you can learn how to do, that anyone really can learn how to do. So if that sounds good to you, stick around and subscribe if you want to get notified for future videos. And also give us a like if you enjoy this video, because it helps more people see us. So that's it for the intro. Let's go ahead and go over to the art studio and start working on our drawing. Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you how I draw a peace symbol, or some people may know it as a peace sign, but the peace sign can also be, when you put your two fingers up showing peace. So this is going to be the peace symbol, the circle with the lines. And there's a couple ways to start this. I'm doing mine on an artist trading card. If you watch any of my other videos, then you already know that I like doing my artwork on artist trading cards. If you're not familiar with what those are, I will put some information in the description box that you can download a free guide that will tell you how to do the artist trading cards, what they are, what their purpose is, those sorts of things. So to get started, we want to do the outside edge of the circle first. And you can do that freehand. You can sketch out your circle, or if you're not good at drawing circles or you don't feel comfortable doing that, you can use a circle template to get that outside edge. And I'm going to do this nice and big. I want it to fill up this card. And I have my outside circle. That helps you get started if you use the template, but we also have to do the inside portion of it, which is going to have to be drawn freehand. So either way is fine. Doing the outside edge at least helps you get that nice, straight, perfect circle. So then the next thing we want to do, I like using guidelines because it helps get everything in position and get the angles and the sizes right. So let's start by drawing a line straight down the middle as best we can. And you're not going to get things perfect. It's just not going to happen. So don't be too difficult, or don't be too hard on yourself if you find it difficult to do some of these things. Just do the best you can. The more you practice, the better you'll get. So now we want to come up to right around where the center point is. And again, you're going to have to kind of eyeball it the best you can. And then we want to draw these lines coming off to the side. And again, you want to try to keep them even. You want them to be symmetrical, meaning they're the same. This negative space would be a mirror on either side. That's what symmetrical is. So we've got this line coming down, starting from somewhere right around the center. We want to come down this way, and we want to come down that way. Now these lines, as I said, those are your guidelines. Those are going to help us draw in the elements of our peace symbol. So then the next thing you want to do is we'll do this inner part of the circle. And you want this width to be however wide you want your peace symbol to be. You can make it thinner, you can make it wider. That's up to you. It's going to determine just kind of the overall look you have for it. Keep in mind that however wide this circle is, you want to keep that consistent throughout. So just draw that inside part of the circle. Just do the best you can to keep it even. Follow this circle. If you used a template, this circle we already know is a perfect circle. And then just do as best you can, drawing this inside edge, coming all the way around until it connects. Don't worry about, we're using pencil, everything can erase, so don't worry about drawing over top of these lines. So we're going to go back in and clean that up, and we're going to erase some of it. And you can look at your circle, clean up any areas that don't look quite right, try to make them better, but again, don't stress out so much over everything trying to be perfect that you don't enjoy drawing, or you don't enjoy the process, or you give up because you feel like you're not good enough. Drawing takes practice, and some of these people that you see that look like everything they do is so perfect, it took them a long time to get to that. And you also have to keep in mind that most of what you see online, especially on social media, they're just showing you the best results. They're not showing you where things might not have turned out so great. So keep that in mind and don't be too hard on yourself. So the next thing we're going to do is draw the center line. And again, we want this width to be about the same as what this is. So you can start by, and you want to keep it symmetrical. So you want the space between each side of the center line to be even. And then just follow that line down. And you could use a ruler to do this if you wanted to, but I mean, that makes it sometimes even harder to get it perfect. This way you can see what you're doing. So you're going to draw one line down and then the other line on the other side. And you can just go down to this inner part of the circle because this other stuff will end up getting erased. And then just do the same thing for your the other two sides, for this line and this line. Draw a line coming down, and you can rotate your whatever you're drawing on, your paper, your sketchbook or whatever, so that you can see what you're doing. You don't want to block out what you're doing with your hands so you can't see. And then this line, we're going to do the same thing. And we want it to be symmetrical with this other side as best you can. It's not going to be perfect. It's really hard to get things perfect, especially straight lines and symmetry. And then what we're going to do is go back in and clean this up. Now, when you're making your peace symbol, these lines sometimes will be in different positions. They'll angle different. And as I'm looking at this now, I don't know if I like how close those are together. And it's fine. That's what a peace symbol looks like. But I think it would look better if this line came out this way just a little bit more. And the same thing on the other side, because we do want to keep this symmetrical. So this would have to come out just slightly further. There. So it's okay to make changes. Don't feel like you have to get everything perfect the first try. This is why we draw guidelines and sketch it out. And the more you draw them, the better you'll get at kind of eyeballing everything out. So don't be hard on yourself. Give yourself some grace. Do the best you can. And if you struggle, then just practice a little bit more. No big deal. Just means you need a little bit more practice. So now what I like to do is to outline my drawings with a black pen. You could also use a marker. I like these Sharpie pens. This is a medium tip Sharpie pen. I like using these because they make a nice crisp, sharp edge. So what we're going to do now is just simply trace over the lines that you're keeping. So we're going to erase all this extra stuff. We don't need all the extra, but we're going to do that after we do our outline. So once we do this outline, we can take, I have this big eraser, or you can use one of those pink pearl erasers, and we can just go right over top the entire drawing and get rid of those extra pencil lines. We're just going to go over all this. And again, just do the best you can. Keep your lines as straight as possible. Things aren't always going to turn out perfectly. You need to keep that in mind. I see a lot of people that give up on creating art because they don't feel like they're good enough. And for some reason, people like to think that you're either artistic or you're not. But what you have to remember is that people that are good at art and good at drawing, they've practiced a lot. They've spent a lot of time developing those skills, and you can do the same thing. Just remember, the more you practice and the more you do it, the better you'll get. Now, I probably could have used my template to do this outside edge and keep it nice and straight, but we're just freehanding it, which means your lines are not going to be perfect. It would be really difficult to to trace over and draw a nice straight perfect circle with a pen or a marker, since you have to keep rotating it. So just remember, things aren't going to be perfectly straight and even, because we are humans, we are not robots. So that's it for the outline. Now we can take an eraser and just go right over all of it. Clean it up, get rid of those extra pencil lines. And you could go back in and make this outline wider if you want. You could put a heavier outline on it. You could make it 3D. We could have, before we outlined, we could have added some flowers in here. There's a lot of different things that you could do. And that's up to you how you want to finish your drawing. This one's pretty thin. You could go in and make it a little bit wider when you draw them. And then the next thing would be to add some kind of color to it. Typically, if I was doing this not just as an instructional video to show you how to draw the peace symbol, there'd be a lot of flowers in here and some kind of background or something going on. But for the purposes of this video, we're just looking at how to draw the symbol itself. So I'm gonna go look for some markers, and I will be back when I find the colors that I want. All right, so I got some colors, and I think I'm just gonna go with, I was thinking about doing kind of a tie-dye sort of color scheme to it. And I think what I'm going to do is try using just some warm colors. And I'm sticking with yellows and oranges, and I'm just going to try this and see what it looks like. So I'll show you the markers I have. I have a yellow, and then I have a light orange, and then I have a darker orange. And these are all alcohol-based markers so that I can blend them together. So what I want to do is kind of put this color in unevenly, so I'm not filling it in all the way. And the trick with using alcohol markers, if you want to blend your colors together, is that you want to work while the markers are wet, because once these dry, these colors will not blend in together. You'll have a harder edge, which is fine if you're okay with that, but I like to blend these colors in together. So what I did was I put the yellow down, and then I went in on the edges with my orange, with my light orange, and now I'm going to use my yellow and go back over where those two come together. And then I'm going to take this darker orange and go alongside where that lighter orange is and do the same thing. And I'm keeping it uneven because I want it to kind of look like that tie-dye sort of effect. And I could have used more colors. I could have done the full spectrum. But I wanted to try this just to see what it would look like. Which is, to me, that's what art is really all about, is experimenting, trying new things, taking some risks, which is why I like using artist trading cards so much, because they're smaller, they don't take as much time, and that gives you a little bit more freedom to take those risks and try new things, and you're not scrapping out a big huge drawing that you did and then you try something different with the colors and it doesn't come out right. So I like using the artist trading cards because it saves time. I can put them in a binder and keep a portfolio. So I'm just going back and forth between the different colors. I think this is a cool little effect. This was easy. This wasn't anything too complicated, but it's a little bit more interesting than if I would have just filled this in yellow or orange. Breaking up the colors like that, I think makes it more interesting to look at. It's a little bit more fun of a design with the broken up colors and that kind of a tie-dye sort of effect. It probably would have looked even better to put more colors in here, maybe some purples and blues, or even some reds just in here, but just for something different to try it and see what it looks like. So that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. Happy creating! Well, that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please give us a like. It'll help us out. And also, don't forget to subscribe if you want to get notified of future videos. And also, leave some comments to let me know, did you try this? Did you enjoy it? And tell me what ideas you have for artwork that you can use to include a peace symbol, kind of like what I did back here that I showed you earlier. I'd love to hear your ideas and suggestions. Leave them in the comment, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!